On my mom's birthday, I discovered the hidden truth. Leaving was the best gift for both of us. Sarah's heart raced as she adjusted the arrangements for her mother's birthday dinner. The quaint Midwestern town of Maplewood hummed softly outside their home, neighbors chatting over white picket fences, warm light spilling from cozy windows. Yet inside, a storm brewed in Sarah's chest. Her mother, Linda, with her warm smile and selfless nature, was the town's beloved heroine, a retired nurse who spent her life tending to others. The weight of family expectations felt like a heavy cloak, suffocating her ambitions, and the thought of celebrating Linda felt like a ticking time bomb. How could she share her news without crushing her mother's dreams further? The invitation to the internship rolled around in her mind like a beautiful melody she was too afraid to hum aloud. It was an opportunity to wave goodbye to the comfort of tradition and explore the world beyond Maplewood. Just a few days away, and yet, her heart twisted painfully at the thought of leaving Linda celebrating her birthday without her. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting shades of orange and pink, Sarah felt uneasy. The table was set with lovingly prepared dishes, her mother's famous roast, buttery mashed potatoes, and vibrant green beans. Each bite symbolized their life together, steeped in tradition, but also tinged with Sarah's yearning for something more. Around the candlelit dinner table, laughter echoed. "And when I was a young nurse, I once had to save a puppy and a baby." Linda chuckled, her eyes twinkling as she recounted her tales. The room sparkled with warmth, but inside, Sarah's heart hammered like a drum, ready to burst. The moment arrived. "Mom, I got an internship offer in Chicago." The room dropped into a chilling silence that felt heavier than the clinking dishes. Linda's fork paused midair, her smile fading as her eyes flickered with disbelief. "What do you mean you'll leave? This is your home, Sarah. You can't just abandon everything we've built together," she exclaimed, her voice trembling. In that moment, years of unspoken disappointments and hopes surged to the surface like a tidal wave. Town members, drawn to the commotion, peered through windows, exchanging glances filled with judgment. Sarah glanced at their curious faces, suddenly feeling isolated between familial loyalty and self-discovery. "Mom, you sacrificed so much for me. I want to honor your dreams, but I have my own." Her voice cracked, declaring her truths into the charged air. From the kitchen, laughter had transformed into a hush, carrying the weight of their strained relationship like a heavy fog. As tension mounted, Linda's hurt unfolded. "You think this is easy for me? I stifled my dreams for you." The words stung, reshaping Sarah's understanding of conviction and sacrifice. They both stood hurt, exposed, questions swirling between them like leaves caught in an autumn wind. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the dinner wore on, the air thickened with unspoken words and tears unshed. Sarah felt alive, hovering between liberation and love, with both hovering, waiting for a decision. Would she stay trapped in the bounds of loyalty, or dare to step into her own light? With her suitcase packed and uncertainty hanging like a stubborn cloud, Sarah stood at the crossroads of her life. Her mother approached her, eyes glistening with raw vulnerability, revealing her own unfulfilled dreams. Here, amidst the heartache and love, stood a possibility for renewal, for both of them. Would their bond break or become stronger? As Sarah gazed into the unfamiliar horizon ahead, she knew one thing: her choice, however bravely made, could hold the hidden truth they both needed to discover. The question lingered, resonating with hope and fear. Was freedom worth the risk of losing family forever? The silence draped over the table, thick and heavy. Every pair of eyes was glued to Sarah, the weight of her mother's disappointment hanging like an unwelcome guest. But amidst the tension, A flicker of determination ignited within her. She had come too far to turn back now. "Mom," she started, her voice steady but soft. "I need to chase my dreams just like you did once. I want to make you proud, but I can't do that if I'm stuck here, always wondering what could have been." She glanced at Linda, who seemed both ancient and youthful in her vulnerability. A living history of sacrifices made. Linda's expression softened slightly, but the hurt remained, drawn tight across her brow. "You don't understand, Sarah. When I think about you leaving, I see that little girl holding my hand on the way to the hospital, hoping I'd always be there." Her voice wavered, almost breaking as she recalled memories they shared. The air around them shifted. The laughter of the earlier dinner felt worlds away. Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself. She reached for her mother's hands, their warmth grounding her. "I don't want you to worry. This isn't abandoning you. It's south about finding my place in the world. Like you did." The older woman sighed, her fingernails digging into the tablecloth. "When I left my dreams behind, there was no one cheering for me but you. I thought that was enough." Sarah's heart ached at the weight of her mother's struggle. "You taught me how to care for others, Mom. It's time for me to care for myself. Please let me do this." The room was silent again, almost unbearably so. She could hear the ticking of the old clock on the wall, each tick a reminder of time slipping away. After what felt like an eternity, Linda finally looked up, searching her daughter's eyes for answers. Do you really think I didn't want those dreams?" she murmured. "Yes," Sarah exclaimed, the desperation breaking through like a dam. "But you have me now. It's okay for you to dream again." Tears shimmered in Linda's eyes. In that moment, they both understood nothing was lost in the pursuit of new dreams. It was part of their legacy. "Maybe we can find a way through this together," Linda said finally, her voice thick with emotion. More laughter erupted outside, a small childish giggle cutting through their tension like a knife. It seemed the world kept moving, while they were still suspended in their conversation, teetering on the edge of an unknown depth. As the evening sun turned to twilight, the glow from the candles flickered, illuminating the small glimmer of hope that began to blossom between them. Their bond was frayed but not broken. They had both been running toward something, a place where each could be fulfilled. Would this fragile understanding hold against the tides of tradition and expectation? "Mom," Sarah said slowly, what if you did something too? Something for you?" A flicker of curiosity sparked in Linda's eyes, the question hanging in the air like a fresh breeze. What awaited her beyond the comfortable confines of Maplewood? Would her own dreams awaken with her daughter's ambition? The walls felt less confining as they both imagined a future colored with possibility, a mosaic of destiny redefined. But as Sarah leaned into the prospect of new beginnings, she knew a choice still loomed, one that would shape their journey from here on out. How deep was the well of dreams they could summon? As her mother met her gaze, the question unspooled like a thread, unraveling paths undiscovered. With tentative hope blossoming in both their hearts, the road ahead glittered with a cautious excitement, waiting for them to take that next step together. Where would it lead them, once they dared to follow their hearts? As twilight settled in, Sarah felt a newfound energy crackling between her and her mother. What if we didn't just talk about it? What if we went out and did something? She leaned in, her heart racing with excitement at the idea. What if we started planning a trip? Just you and me? Linda's eyebrows knitted together, a question dancing in her eyes. A trip? Yeah. We could go to that art retreat you always used to talk about. Remember? The one by the coast? The mention of the retreat warmed Linda's heart. She had tucked that dream away, like a forgotten photograph. I don't know, Sarah. What if I'm not ready? What if it turns out to be... She hesitated, a deep breath escaping her lips. What if it's a waste of time? It won't be, Sarah responded, her voice a blend of conviction and reassurance. Could be our way of welcoming change. We could explore, create, and most importantly we could do it together. Linda looked away, searching for a logical reason to decline. Yet a soft glow danced in her heart, lighting a flicker of hope. But what will I paint? What will I say to people? What if I can't even pick up a brush? You don't have to worry about that now. Just think about the adventure. It doesn't have to be perfect, Sarah encouraged, her enthusiasm infectious. Just remember who you are. You're the same person who filled our home with those vibrant colors. The mom who encouraged me to paint my dreams. Why can't you do that for yourself? Linda swallowed against the rush of emotion swelling in her throat. I haven't thought about it that way. Well, maybe it's time you did, Sarah said, her excitement bubbling over. We could pack our bags, hit the road, and set off on a real journey together, not just to explore the world but to find ourselves again. Can be the start of something new for both of us. For a moment, they sat in silence, the weight of the past slowly lifting. Outside, the sounds of children playing and laughter floated through the air. The world seemed to shimmer with possibilities, and Linda dared to imagine. Okay, let us say we do this trip, she said, a cautious smile breaking through the uncertainty clouding her face. What then? Then we live it. We share our experiences, even if it feels uncomfortable. We embrace that unknowing. It was a simple yet profound promise that sent shivers up Linda's spine. Challenge was daunting, but the thrill of new beginnings stirred something deep within. Together, she echoed. Yes, together, Sarah replied, her heart brimming with joy. As the evening wore on, the tension around the table began to dissolve, and laughter started bubbling up between them. Each chuckle felt like a stitch weaving their hearts closer, sewing the frayed edges of their bond. Maybe I can finally try painting again or even writing a little, Linda mused, her eyes gleaming with determination. Exactly. Let us push against those boundaries. What about you? What dreams will you awaken, Mom? But as the words slipped from Sarah's lips, a shadow flashed across Linda's face. Her mind flickered to the fear of failure. She couldn't let history repeat itself. She had to be strong. Can you promise me one thing? Linda asked cautiously, almost whispering, a weight of vulnerability resting heavily between them. Anything, Sarah replied, her heart pounding. No matter what happens on our journey, promise me we won't let it tear us apart. Her hesitance was palpable. A mother's fear of failing her daughter echoed in every word. Of course, Mom. We're a team. Nothing can break that. With fervent resolution, they clasped each other's hands. The night wrapped around them like a warm blanket, embracing their newfound pact. Together they would take the leap. Little did they know, the choice they had just made might lead them to revelations beyond their wildest dreams. With the world ahead and their hearts filled with newfound vigor, where would the paths of their destinies take them? As they settled into the quiet of the evening, anticipation mingled with fear. Each heartbeat echoed a promise. Tomorrow was just the beginning, but whispers of the past still lurked in the shadows. Would the ghosts that haunted Linda let them go? Or would they uncover truths meant to stay hidden? The next morning dawned with a soft light spilling through the curtains, illuminating the kitchen where Linda stood, a coffee cup warming her palms. The aroma filled the air, an invigorating start to what felt like a turning point. Mom, you awake? Sarah's voice echoed from the hallway, her exuberance palpable even from a distance. Barely. Just let me enjoy this coffee first. Linda chuckled, her nerves dancing slightly as she thought of their plans. As she gathered her thoughts, a rush of hope washed over her, yet doubt nipped at the edges. She had always been a planner, but stepping into the unknown felt like jumping off a cliff. I made a list. Sarah burst into the kitchen, brandishing a piece of paper like a trophy. Linda smiled, setting down her cup. A list? For what? The road trip, places to stop and things to do. I even included time for exploring art supply stores along the way. Linda laughed. Sarah's enthusiasm was medicine to her spirit. That sounds promising. Where do you want to go first? Right here, Sarah replied, planting her feet firmly. This retreat has to be our launch pad. Plus, I want you to feel inspired right from the start. With Sarah's excitement wrapping around her like a hug, Linda felt her own anticipation shift. Maybe this was the spark she needed to reignite her creativity. Okay, let us see what you've got. As they studied the list together, They could hear the faint sounds of children playing outside and the gentle rustling of trees. The world felt alive. But deep down, Linda couldn't shake the nagging feeling that this trip was not just about painting or bonding. It was about facing her past, too. "Mom?" Sarah's voice pulled her from her thoughts. "Are you okay?" Linda hesitated. I want this to be everything you hope for." Sarah's eyes softened with understanding. "It will be. Just trust me. We're doing this together." With a nod, Linda breathed in deeply, letting her fear begin to slip away. They spent the morning packing, laughter mingling with the rustle of clothes and the clinking of bags. It felt good to focus on something new instead of the weight of what had been. Yet, as they loaded the last bag into the trunk, Linda couldn't ignore the pull of the past that still lingered, a reminder of what she was leaving behind, the memories tied to this home. "Ready?" Sarah's cheerful energy cut into Linda's reverie. Almost. Linda felt a lump rise in her throat. "Can we take a picture before we go? A moment to remember this?" "Of course." Sarah grinned, pulling out her phone. They posed under the old oak tree in their front yard, the one Linda had planted when Sarah was born. As they smiled at the camera, Linda felt a rush of warmth, merging nostalgia with hope. It was a reminder that all beginnings come from letting go. As they climbed into the car, Linda glanced back at their home. For a moment, she felt the familiar tugging at her heart. So many memories were imprinted here, the laughter, the tears, the tiny victories. But she knew today was about embracing a different future. "Mom, are you sure you're okay?" Sarah asked again, concern coating her words. Linda nodded, forcing a smile. "Yeah, I just need a minute. Take all the time you need." As the car pulled out of the driveway and onto the road, a mix of exhilaration and anxiety fluttered in Linda's chest. The adventure was beginning, but the shadows of her past still lingered like loyal companions, obscured in the rearview mirror. "Oh." Sarah's eyes went wide as the coastal scenery unfolded. "This is stunning." Linda found it hard to focus on the beauty around her. Each wave crashing against the rocks felt like an echo of her own inner turmoil. But with each mile they traveled, a feeling began to awaken in Linda. Maybe this was the pivotal moment she needed, the journey that would breathe life into her art and her spirit. "Can you turn on some music?" Sarah asked, breaking the silence that had settled between them. As the melody washed over them, Linda felt the tension ease just a bit. Perhaps this trip was a canvas yet to be painted, a chance to discover colors she thought were lost. In the distance, the art retreat loomed ahead like a beacon of possibilities. But with that promise of transformation came a wave of uncertainty. What truths and challenges lay waiting for them there? As they pulled up to the retreat, Linda felt her heart race. Today felt different, and for the first time in a long while, she was ready to face it all. But would the journey bring the healing they sought, or would it reveal truths that were too painful to confront? As they stepped out of the car, the salty breeze wrapped around them, carrying whispers of new beginnings. The retreat was nestled among vibrant greenery, a colorful mosaic of flowers and art installations that beckoned them closer. Linda shielded her eyes from the sun, taking a moment to absorb the scene before her. "Look at all the colors," Sarah exclaimed, already off exploring. Her voice was full of excitement, and Linda felt her heart swell. It was as if Sarah's joy led the way, illuminating the path ahead. "Let us find our cabin," Linda called, trying to keep up with her daughter. The momentary fumble of unease slipped away, replaced by a sense of anticipation. The cabin was quaint, its rustic charm grounding. Each room was adorned with artwork that spoke of creativity and freedom. Linda felt a stirring, a yearning that had been quiet for far too long. "Check this out," Sarah shouted from one of the smaller rooms, her voice echoing against the wooden walls. She held a sketch pad, flipping through its pages filled with inspiring prompts. "We could use these for our art projects." Linda smiled, heart warming at the thought. "Absolutely. Let us make it a challenge each day, one piece to share." As Sarah bounced on her toes, Linda found herself transported back to simpler times when they would create without hesitation, the world falling away in bursts of laughter and color. A flicker of that joy nudged at her spirit. "Mom?" Sarah's voice cut through her reverie. You coming? Yeah, right behind you. They spent the afternoon absorbed in the vibrant atmosphere, each corner of the retreat livening their spirits. Other participants greeted them warmly, sharing ideas and laughter. The air was electric with creativity. Linda felt the tendrils of doubt begin to unravel. That evening, they attended a welcome gathering under a sprawling tent, the soft glow of fairy lights casting a magical ambience. Artists, aspiring and seasoned, shared their stories of struggle and triumph around campfire-like circles. Linda's heart pounded, resonating with every tale told. How each artist faced their fears, willing to dive into the depths of their hearts to emerge stronger. When Sarah pulled at her sleeve, urging her to join a conversation, Linda hesitated. Her throat felt tight. What could she possibly contribute? But the gentle push from her daughter broke through her trepidation. Okay, let us do this, she whispered to herself. As they mingled, Linda marveled at how stories unfolded. Each person shared their journey, exposing vulnerabilities as if forming a tapestry of shared experience. It felt liberating, and for the first time, she glimpsed her own truth somewhere in the fabric. Mom, I want to share something too, Sarah said, her face a mixture of excitement and nerves. I've been thinking a lot about what it means to find our voices. Linda sensed the crowd leaning in closer, their attention shifting away from her. A number of blushes and nervous laughter surrounded them, but at that moment, all she felt was pride. Sarah's courage, her voice rising soft yet clear, enchanted everyone. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Linda realized what this journey was igniting within her wasn't just about art. It was about healing, reconnection, embracing parts of herself that had slept far too long. But as the final flickers of daylight faded into the night, a familiar ache returned. Would she be brave enough to truly open up? Could she let go of the armor she'd worn for years? Let us finish the night strong, Sarah suggested, her enthusiasm infectious. I want us both to paint something by the bonfire. Linda looked at the embers dancing in the darkness, contemplating the shadows that echoed within her. The flickering light felt alive. Was it time to finally face what had been hidden? As they gathered paints and brushes, Linda felt a rush of excitement mixed with dread. She was about to unearth emotions she had long buried. But was she ready? Tonight, amid the warmth of the flames, truths awaited. What would happen when she finally confronted the fears tied to her past, allowing the light to seep into the dark? Would it shatter her or transform her in ways she had never imagined? As the night deepened, the sounds of laughter and chatter faded, replaced by the gentle crackling of the fire. The stars twinkled above like countless tiny beacons of hope. Linda dipped her brush into the vibrant blues and greens, trying to channel the anticipation swirling within her. Ready? Sarah asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Linda nodded, but her stomach twisted. What if I'm not good enough? She whispered, more to herself than to Sarah. Mom, it's not about being perfect. It's about feeling, Sarah replied, her voice full of the unshakable confidence that only came with youth. As they settled beside the bonfire, Sarah pressed her pad into her mother's hands, the blank page staring back, demanding a story. For a moment, doubt reared its ugly head. Could she truly dig deep and express what lay inside? The lingering shadows of her past whispered discomfort, but then came the warmth of her daughter's faith. Taking a deep breath, Linda picked up her brush and dipped it into the warm orange glow of the firelight. With the first stroke, she felt a surge of release. A flame ignited within her, illuminating the forgotten corners of her heart. It was as if the colors danced, swirling memories swirling together. Each swipe of the brush invoked moments she had sealed away, the laughter, the tears, the fears. Mom, your painting looks amazing, Sarah exclaimed, glancing at her mother's canvas. Surprised, Linda looked down. Was it possible she had created something beautiful? Thanks, she smiled, a statement that surged beyond mere words. Encouraged, she turned her focus back to the painting, layering colors with each flick of her wrist. With every stroke, she connected more deeply to her own stories. The moments of fear morphed into blooms of hope. Shadows turned to light. As Sarah began her own painting, she couldn't help but steal glances at her mother. The joy radiating from Linda was infectious. It was like watching a flower unfurl its petals for the first time, stunning in its vulnerability. "What do you think our paintings say?" Sarah asked, her brow furrowed in concentration. Linda paused. "I think they're saying it's okay to express what's inside. That we don't have to hide anymore. What if we share them?" Sarah proposed, her voice a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "During the talent show tomorrow?" What if Linda hesitated? Would she really be able to stand up and reveal her heart to a group of strangers? But the understanding glimmering in Sarah's eyes spurred her on. "Yes, let us do it." As if the universe aligned, the fire crackled brightly, the embers dancing towards the sky. A sense of liberation washed over Linda. Together they would take this leap side by side. However, as the night wore on, a feeling of unease trickled back in. Linda's thoughts began to churn. What would happen when she bared her soul? Would it truly set her free, or would it plummet her into the depths of things she had long buried? With the challenge of sharing their work looming over them, a mix of hope and dread filled the air. "Mom, look at that!" Sarah suddenly exclaimed, pointing to a shooting star streaking across the night sky. Linda blinked, momentarily caught in the beauty of the moment. "Make a wish," Sarah giggled, squeezing her mother's hand. As Linda closed her eyes, a silent plea filled her heart. "Please, let me find the courage to speak my truth." But when she opened them again, the weight of her past seemed heavier than before. She glanced at the fire, various shades of red and gold reflecting in her eyes. Could she confront what she'd been avoiding all along? Would she find the strength to open up not just about her art, but about the struggles and fears that had shaped her life? The night felt thick with potential, the future so close yet unfathomably far. Determined, Linda took Sarah's hands, feeling the warm connection between them. "We can do this together, right?" "Absolutely," Sarah beamed. But little did they know, the morning could unveil hidden truths about their own relationship, forever altering the landscape of their journey. As they shared their dreams and fears under the stars, one question lingered. What unseen challenge awaited them in the dawn light? Morning sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating the small room like a warm embrace. Linda blinked a few times as her eyes adjusted. The stark contrast between the peacefulness of dawn and the storm brewing inside her mind jolted her to full awareness. Today was the day, the talent show beckoning her to reveal her heart. "Happy birthday, Mom!" Sarah's voice chirped like a bright bird, dancing into the room. Linda turned to see her daughter standing beside the bed, a huge grin plastered across her face and a small slice of cake in her hands. "Thank you, sweetie," Linda said, propping herself up on one elbow. A wave of warmth washed over her at the sight of Sarah's enthusiasm, but it was quickly overshadowed by a rising tide of anxiety. Today wasn't just about her birthday, it was about confronting truths she kept hidden for far too long. "Let us celebrate," Sarah exclaimed. "After the talent show, we can go out for ice cream." Linda forced a smile, the excitement in Sarah's eyes giving her a flicker of hope. "That sounds great." Yet, as she contemplated sharing her painting, the doubt crept back in, tightening its grip on her heart. After they quickly devoured the cake, they dressed and headed outside. The air was crisp, filling their lungs with the scent of blooming flowers. Felt like a fresh start. Linda craved that transformation, but would she be able to embrace it when the time came? "Let us practice," Sarah suggested, carrying her own sketchpad under her arm. They made their way to the backyard, allowing the sun to brighten their spirits. "Okay, you go first," Linda said, feeling her palms sweat. Sarah took a deep breath and began to share her thoughts about her painting. Words poured out like a waterfall, each concept flowing effortlessly. The way Sarah articulated her feelings made Linda's heart swell. Maybe this was what being vulnerable meant, illuminating shadows with words instead of hiding them. As Sarah spoke, Linda listened, entwined with pride and a nagging fear. It hit her. No matter what happened today, Sarah had already begun to communicate things Linda wished she could. "Wow, that's beautiful. You have such an amazing talent," Linda encouraged. But inside, trapped in a web of confusion, she worried that she wouldn't do the same justice to her emotions. "Now your turn, Mom. What does your painting mean?" Sarah prompted eagerly. The moment felt suspended in time, filled with infinite possibilities. Linda's heart raced. It's about rediscovery. Finding hope after loss, she finally managed. Long-buried memories bubbling to the surface. She waited for a moment, feeling exposed. "It's about showing my true self." "It's wonderful, but you should show everyone the real you," Sarah insisted, eyes sparkling with faith. Could she share her true self, the neglected remnants of her past? Linda shut her eyes for a moment. As she visualized her struggles, the choices that had led her to this moment, the urge to run seeped into her skin. But then she thought of Sarah, of her belief. It felt as if the universe were pushing her to stand tall. "What if they don't like it?" she questioned, voice barely above a whisper. "Mom, who cares? What matters is that you're telling your story," Sarah said fiercely. With that statement hanging in the air, an idea started to form, one that shook her to her core. What if this performance was about more than just sharing her art? What if it meant breaking free from all those years of doubt, of being trapped by what others might think? A flush of determination ignited in Linda's chest. "You're right. I can do this." "Of course you can. I'll be right by your side." As they rushed back into the house, some kind of change seemed to ripple through Linda, a promise of courage waiting to break free. Would she truly embrace her past? Not just for herself, but as a gift for Sarah? The world beyond the front door felt vast and unfamiliar, the weight of expectations pressing down hard. But as they arrived at the community center, nerves twisted and turned like storm clouds. Through the anticipation of what was yet to come, one thought haunted Linda's heart: what if revealing her truth unleashed something she couldn't control? With each step toward the stage, she wondered, what deep secrets would this performance unearth? Not only for her but for Sarah, too. The community center buzzed with energy, a vibrant mix of laughter and chatter that rose to meet Linda as she approached the entrance. Her heart thudded in her chest, each pulsing beat a reminder of the truth she was about to share. She clutched Sarah's hand tightly, as if her daughter's unwavering confidence could shield her from prying eyes and critical whispers. "Mom, remember, just be you," Sarah whispered, her grip reassuringly firm. Linda could see the excitement in her daughter's eyes, a mirror of the hope she desperately wanted to feel. But even in this moment, with Sarah's encouragement surrounding her like a warm blanket, doubt gnawed at the edges of her heart. Inside, the gymnasium was filled with colorful decorations and cheerful faces. People milled about, setting up their performances and chatting animatedly. Songs from a nearby practice floated through the air, mixing with an electric hum that sent shivers down Linda's spine. She felt both a part of this world and distinctly separate, a solitary wick waiting for a spark. "Look over there," Sarah pointed. "That's Mr. Jenkins. I heard he's doing a magic trick." A group of children squealed as Mr. Jenkins pulled a rabbit from his hat, a spectacle that drew the crowd's attention. Linda watched with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. For a fleeting moment, laughter washed over her. But then the reality of her own impending performance loomed large. They moved closer to the stage, where a velvet curtain hung like a portal to the undiscovered. Linda took a deep breath, filling her lungs with determination. Nerves cascaded through her, creating a vertigo that almost made her dizzy. Would she find the courage to step through that curtain? "Hey, let us look at your painting for a second," Sarah said, breaking through her swirling thoughts. She reached into her bag, pulling out Linda's artwork, a canvas that had been hidden away for too long. It was a burst of color, vibrant strokes intertwined, a reflection of hope, pain, and the journey to rediscover herself. "Mom, just look at this. You poured your heart into it," Sarah insisted, holding the canvas up to the light. The colors danced in the sun's rays, illuminating the emotions captured within. "This is you, and everyone needs to see it." All of a sudden, Linda felt a swell of emotion. The essence of her truth lay before her, and it was more beautiful than she remembered. "You're right," she breathed, feeling invigorated by Sarah's words. "Just tell them what it means to you," Sarah encouraged, her voice steady and loving. Linda nodded, feeling the knots in her stomach slowly begin to unravel. The MCS voice burst through the crowd, calling for the next performer, reverberating off the walls like a clarion call. Next up, we have Linda Hughes, sharing a painting and the story behind it. Linda's breath hitched in her throat. Time seemed to freeze. She grit her teeth and squeezed Sarah's hand once more, drawing strength from her daughter's presence. "What if they don't get it?" Linda whispered, panic rising again. "Just be brave, Mom. You're already doing so much. They'll love you." "I know it," Sarah whispered back. Her eyes sparkled with determination, as if she had already seen the outcome and it was good. With a shaky breath, Linda made her way to the stage. As she stepped into the spotlight, the warmth enveloped her and her heart raced. She shifted her painting, the colors now glowing like embers in a fire. Hi everyone. I'm really nervous," she began, her voice shaking but filled with sincerity. She could see curious faces looking back at her, and strangely, it soothed her. "Today I want to share something special, something real." With each word spoken, her anxiety eased. The truth spilled out like paint on a canvas, unvarnished and raw. She spoke of loss, hope, and the necessity of being truly seen. And as she unveiled her story, she realized this wasn't just about her. It was for Sarah. It was for every person who felt invisible. But as her narrative unfolded, an unexpected voice called from the back of the room, a voice that sent a ripple of fear through her heart. "Why should we care about your story?" Suddenly, Linda was confronted not just with the challenge of sharing her truth, but with the reality of an audience filled with different perspectives and skepticism. Would she rise to the occasion, or would this be more than she bargained for? In that moment, she wasn't sure what would come next. But there was no turning back now. Linda took a beat, feeling the weight of the question hang in the air like a dark cloud. Panic swelled inside her as self-doubt, sharper than ever, reared its head. Did she truly have the right to stand here? She glanced down at Sarah, whose eyes were wide and sparkling, radiating a strength that felt like a lighthouse against the storm that roiled within her. "My story, it matters because it's mine," Linda finally responded, her voice gaining a steadiness she didn't know was there. "We all have experiences that shape us, that make us who we are today." A few nods from the audience encouraged her, but the voice lingered like an unwanted guest. "No one wants to hear another sob story. Get to the point." Stung, Linda inhaled sharply, but this time, something fiery ignited within her. She straightened her back. "You're right. We're here to connect, to find something real. So let me explain what this painting means," she said, gesturing towards the canvas. The colors shimmered under the harsh lights, reflecting her courage back at her. "There were moments in my life where I felt completely lost, trapped in my own silence. Each brushstroke here represents pain. The deep yearning for my voice captures nights spent awake, wrestling my demons. But it also reveals the beauty of finding light again, of rediscovering my joy." With every word, Linda felt her conviction grow, spiraling like vibrant paint on the fabric of her story. The murmurs in the crowd transformed. What began as skepticism now morphed into soft whispers of understanding. She sensed curiosity, a collective leaning in, and it pushed her forward. "I'm not here to ask for your sympathy. I'm here to remind you that it's okay to fight, to feel, to be seen. My journey isn't just mine. It's one of resilience that we all share. And through art, I've learned that even our darkest moments can become something beautiful." As Linda spoke, she noticed people around her leaning closer, some with tears glistening in their eyes. Even the critical voice fell silent, replaced by a ripple of vulnerability that spread through the room. "And to that person who questioned my worth, I thank you. This is how we grow together, through our stories." Her voice steadied, the tremor reduced to a gentle wave. "And so, today I stand here not just for myself, but for you all. For those who feel invisible, for anyone who has felt weary from the burdens of life. Let this painting serve as a reminder that our struggles can transform into something extraordinary. Whatever darkness you may feel, remember, there's always a way to turn it into light. A hush fell over the crowd. Linda felt the energy shift, the air thick with a new understanding. Ripples of applause began to grow, transforming into a crescendo that echoed off the walls. Linda's heart swelled, shaking her to the core. She had taken her fear and woven it into the fabric of something that mattered. As the applause roared, her eyes found Sarah's, pure joy illuminating her daughter's face. In that moment, Linda realized that the true performance had just begun. She witnessed something remarkable, a connection formed from shared stories, a dance of vulnerability and strength. But just as she began to celebrate, another voice pierced through the applause, a figure weaving their way through the crowd. What do you mean, we all struggle? You don't know what I've been through. The warmth that enveloped Linda quickly turned icy once more. Was this another challenge to her truth? Her heart raced again, and the uplift she'd felt threatened to fade. Would she face this new obstacle with the same courage? Linda took a deep breath and searched the room for the strength to continue. Would she allow her story to resonate and inspire? Or would this moment slip through her fingers like fine sand? The weight of expectation pressed down around her. Linda felt the heat climb to her cheeks as the tension in the room crackled like electricity. The voice of challenge, a cry for connection, came from the back, raw and desperate. You don't know what I've been through. She took a shaky breath, gripping the edge of her canvas. You're right. I don't know your story, Linda replied, each word deliberate. But I do know that we all carry our own battles. Each struggle is unique, and yet it connects us. As she spoke, she could sense reluctance in the audience subtly shifting into something more open, hearts leaning toward understanding. Linda saw the man in the back, his face etched with lines of pain, embodying the very essence of hardship. What about your pain? Is it supposed to mean more just because it's painted on a canvas? He questioned, voice tinged with anguish. Art speaks where words fail, she replied, the conviction in her heart rising to the surface. And while I may not understand your journey fully, your voice is important. It deserves to be heard. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Linda could feel hope intertwining with tension in the air. Every brushstroke of my painting represents moments where I felt hopeless. And instead of allowing that to shatter me, I found ways to transform my pain into something beautiful. We can do that together. The man paused, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. For a brief moment, the weight of the world seemed to lift. The crowd was attentive, silent in their reflections, contemplating the truth that resonated in Linda's words. Let us gather our stories, share them, she suggested. Let them intertwine. Let them connect us. Art, like life, thrives on diversity and understanding. Can you truly unite us? He asked, voice quieter, curiosity blending with skepticism. Yes, Linda said, more confidently this time. It's in vulnerability that we find strength. Open up. Let the world hear what stirs in your heart. Let your pain be an invitation to heal. In that moment, the atmosphere shifted, a palpable camaraderie enveloping the room. The audience began to whisper to one another, feelings of compassion floating like new blossoms in spring. This isn't just my truth anymore. Linda continued, emboldened by newfound confidence. It's ours. Each of us has struggles, challenges, dreams we're afraid to voice. Share your heart, the messiness of it all. Let us weave our stories together and find connection in our vulnerability. The applause swelled again, but this time it was different, less a celebration of her performance, and more a recognition of the power in their collective stories. Linda held her painting against her chest, a part of the journey that brought them together. The man approached her slowly, a heavy sorrow lifted from his shoulders. You're right. Maybe all of our stories do matter. They locked eyes, a shared understanding lighting the air. Linda held her breath as he stepped forward, his emotions raw and genuine. I've been afraid to show my scars, he admitted, voice almost breaking. But maybe it's time. Yes, she encouraged, absorbing his courage. Let us do this together. The audience buzzed with excitement, people claiming their space to share. This wasn't just Linda's moment. This was a shared revolution, a chorus of voices rising in unity, singing songs of hardship and triumph. Overwhelmed by emotion, Linda felt tears prick her eyes. Unexpected warmth enveloped her. A family of souls uniting through shared experiences. As they connected, she understood how transformative vulnerability could be. The community center grew bigger, the weight of expectations lighter. Finally, when the gathering was drawing to a close, Linda located Sarah among the crowd, brightness illuminating her daughter's face. Their eyes met, and they shared a silent promise between them. This was just the beginning. Ready to celebrate your birthday, Mom? Sarah asked eagerly. Absolutely, Linda smiled, filled with joy. But let us include everyone. Ice cream can wait. Together, they rallied the community around. It was a time for celebration not just of Linda's journey but of each story that wove their hearts together. Laughter filled the air as the group migrated towards ice cream shops nearby, ready to share, connect, and embrace life as a vibrant community. As Linda walked side by side with Sarah, inseparable yet thriving in their newfound network of support, she realized that vulnerability had birthed strength beyond her wildest dreams. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world in hues of gold and purple, she knew they had uncovered something truly profound, the hidden truth that would forever bond them. Sarah squeezed her hand. You did it, Mom. You're a storyteller now. With a radiant smile, Linda's heart swelled with pride. Together, we unraveled our truths. And now, we'll keep writing our story one masterpiece at a time. As they prepared to embrace this new chapter, Linda understood that leaving behind fear had gifted them more than she had ever imagined. The journey was theirs to take, and she couldn't wait to see where it led. Now you need to subscribe immediately to the channel, so you don't miss our next exclusive stories that'll inspire and touch your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread the warmth of these transforming tales. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. We want to hear your voices echoing through our community. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel and keeping the magic alive.